Good morning, SDA juniors. Welcome back to another week of your online learning. So just a recap based on what we did last week. Okay, so we asked you guys to research a couple of questions and try to fill in our needs analysis. Now the feedback that we got wasn't fantastic. So what we're going to try and do is we're going to see if we can try and explain it a little bit better this week. Try to see if the points that we're trying to make this week come across a lot easier for you guys to understand. All right. So based on that, let's see if we can get a bit more feedback and see if you guys can put in a lot more effort into your homework and see what results we get from that. All right. So this week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about session design or a plan design. Okay. So we're going to ask a couple of questions. Same as last week, we've got 3 different questions that we're going to ask. Okay, so number 1, what does an effective session plan include? So, easiest way to look at it is that we've got different types of exercises, right? Okay, we've got primary, we've got secondary, and we've got auxiliary. Normally your primary exercises are what we call your compound movements. So compound meaning it's you're using more than one body part or one joint, okay, to do a movement. Okay, so a squat, for example, we're using a few joints. We're using 3, using your ankle joints, your knee joints, and your hip joints. Okay, so that's an example of your primary exercise. Normally your primary exercise also, it's normally the most demanding exercise as well, okay? This is the core exercise, this is the one that is based around the goal of the session. Our secondary exercises are normally ones that are, if you're going lower body, then you do a secondary exercise. Your secondary exercise is probably your upper body stuff, okay? Your auxiliary exercises are normally the ones that complement your primary or your secondary exercises. Okay, so if you did a squat as your primary exercise or your secondary exercise, normally we try to work on a smaller component or a smaller muscle group. Okay, that would normally be our auxiliary. Okay, so instead of focusing on the entire lower limb of a squat movement, we decided, okay, we need to do a little bit of hamstring work, so we do a hamstring exercise. Why is each part important to our session plan? So now we need to look at why are we choosing the exercises that we are choosing. Okay. And the easiest way to think about this is, what is the goal? The athlete needs a goal, okay, based on their sport or based on what they are lacking within their sport. So that's the biggest thing there, okay, is your goal. What are you trying to achieve? Okay. And then we need to look at what is the purpose of our exercises. Okay. Do our exercises that we have chosen, do they have meaning or do they have a purpose as to what we are trying to achieve based on the goal that we've already set? Okay. So it is important as to how we choose our exercises, because of the fact that we need to complement our goal in the long run. All right, and the last question we are going to ask is, what can you do to adapt a session based on your needs? So everyone is different. We've spoken about this previously. Everyone moves differently. Everyone does a whole bunch of different sports. Okay. So how can we adapt a session plan based on what you as an athlete needs? So again, we need to look at a couple of the things that we've done previously, back to our needs analysis from last week. Okay. Number 1 is, why are you doing the exercises that you're doing? Okay, so again, the goal comes in. Why do we have this goal? What is your goal as an athlete? Okay, What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve gaining strength, becoming more powerful? You're trying to get faster, you're trying to gain muscle mass, okay? These are all things that we need to look at. And if you have to do something completely different to other people, that is your adaptation. You need to adapt your program to how it's going to benefit you, okay? A lot of the time, especially if you've had injuries throughout your past, you need to adapt a session in order to make sure that the person with an injury can do the session, okay? One thing we also need to try and look at is, what are you capable of as an athlete? Okay? Are you guys capable of squatting? Are you guys capable of doing a deadlift movement, okay? What we call a hinge movement. Are you guys capable of doing some sort of pushing movement? Are you capable of doing some sort of pulling movement, okay? These are the basic movement patterns that we need to try and look at. Again, all we need to try and do, guys, is we need to understand what the needs of the athlete is and what the needs of the sport is. And based around those needs, we can determine what is important to us and how do we adapt to each part of our session plan. Okay, recap. So 3 questions we're asking again, okay? What does an effective plan include? Why is each part of the plan important? Last question, how can we adapt our session plans to meet our needs? Okay, so now I want you guys to answer these 3 questions yourself. Okay, you've got the information throughout the video and the answers are there. Okay, I want you guys to answer these 3 questions yourself. Okay, based on these answers, I am going to send through a session plan and an example, and then I want you guys to change that session plan based on what you think is important and what you feel is needed as an athlete for your sport. Okay, good luck, guys.